Well, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hi.
It's Wednesday night, 9 o'clock.
Yes.
It's happening out.
Yes.
We're very excited. Stonewall Pride is over. And we're now turning our eyes to Miami Beach Pride.
Yeah.
We have a special guest with us tonight to talk about Miami Beach Pride.
Yes.
And we're going to thank everybody. My goodness, 50,000+ people watched It's Happening Out last week on YouTube.
That's great.
Must have been your haircut, Al.
It was my haircut.
It probably was.
Yeah.
They couldn't believe what they were looking at.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All
is
right.
that?
That's how we're going to start.
Who is that?
All right.
Starting off with the shade.
The
Yay.
All right. Well, good evening, America and South Florida, and welcome to It's Happening Out, the world's most popular live gay television talk show. It's 9 p.m. You know the drill. It's Wednesday, June 23rd, and I'm your anchor, Al Ferguson. So let's get started right away by meeting tonight's host of It's Happening Out. First off, let's welcome FayWHAT. She's a radio and television personality and has the popular blog and YouTube channel aiming to unite the L, somebody will have to tell me later what the L is all about, and the G together. I know. She's a hostess and MC for many South Florida events, an animal advocate, and owner of Faye's Fur Family. And she's also the anchor of the travel news show, HappeningOut.travel. Good evening, Faye.
Good evening, everyone. I feel like I'm wearing like a big dress. Look at me. I look like I'm wearing like a big doll dress. I love it. I love it. All right.
Yeah.
I came to slay. Let's do this.
All right, all right. I was thinking Glad Trash Bag. That's the shade.
You're not even wearing pants, and you're talking crap about my dress. You are not even wearing pants, oh man.
It's a secret. All right. Let's welcome next Peter Carey. He is the Director of Marketing and PR for Miami Beach Pride, the next big Pride parade in South Florida. Much of Peter's experience comes from the fashion, entertainment, and event planning industries. He brings all of that to the table as he keeps Miami Beach Pride relevant and inclusive. Good evening, Peter.
Hello, hello. Nice to be here.
It's going to be fun getting to know you.
Am I the only one in a polo? Everybody's wearing black. No, we're off base today. Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about the T-shirt in a minute. Next, let's welcome John Buckley, a client advisor at Romola. He is Vice President and Program Director of the nonprofit organization Unity Coalition, as well as the creator of the initiative Kioba, a free traveling social event that features inspiring speakers, topics, and a safe place for all same gender loving men of color. Plus, he is known as Buck Lords from the famous House of Lords here in South Florida. Good evening, John.
Good evening, Al. Happy to be here.
And tell us about the new news about Unity Coalition.
So, Unity has Celebrate Orgullo, which we are excited and thrilled to preview or present to you October 1st to the 15th. So, stay on the lookout. We will be releasing little bites here and there, so stay tuned.
We are getting ready to have the busiest October in LGBTQ history. It's going to be awesome. Awesome month. Finishing with Halloween. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Great.
Gay Christmas.
Exactly. All right, next up, let's welcome Gregg Shapiro. He is a renowned LGBTQ+ author of 7 books, most recently Sunshine State, his Florida-centric poetry chapbook that observes and writes about his adopted state with wisdom, passion, quiet humor, and a sharp eye for detail. He is also an entertainment journalist who interviews and previews and runs in a variety of regional LGBTQ+ and mainstream publications and websites. Good evening, Gregg.
Good evening, Al. Good evening, y'all. I interviewed Johnny Mathis this morning.
Wow.
Who's that?
Very
Awesome.
nice.
Just part of my job.
Who's that?
Seriously?
What?
Oh
Okay,
my
whatever.
goodness.
All right, well,
we're
congratulations. I don't
yeah,
know.
we're going to shade Reed later. All right, next up, let's welcome Dr. Ty Hauser. Exactly, he's Mr. Christmas. Let's welcome Dr. Ty Hauser. He's an associate professor of English and Humanities at Broward College. Additionally, he teaches for extended periods of time at international colleges in China, India, Spain, and Bolivia, and is getting ready to get back to that, I'm very happy to say.
Yeah.
Good evening, Ty.
Good evening, and I just finished up a class with Bolivia yesterday. I submitted the final grades, so great students. I wish I could get down there and see them in person next year, hopefully. And just to point out, I am Ty Hauser. The person next to me is not Ty Hauser. I know that production had a little issue with that when we started the show, but you're welcome.
Oh, was that Steve Smith? Apparently it was.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. So good evening, America. We are the first and most popular live LGBTQ talk show in the world. So much we have to talk about tonight. Next on It's Happening Out.
This week on It's Happening Out. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Well, let's begin tonight with happening now breaking news. Tragedy strikes, as America knows, at Stonewall Pride. It affects our broadcast and announcement of the parade. The parade is canceled moments before its start. Well, in summary, watch this.
I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening.
A tragic accident. That's what authorities are now calling what happened Saturday when a pickup truck struck two people, killing one of them during a pride parade in Fort Lauderdale.
We're doing all that we can to make sure that we do the most complete and accurate investigation.
Initial findings by the Fort Lauderdale Police Department determined the driver, a 77-year-old man, was part of the Stonewall Pride Parade and was going to be driving the pickup truck in the procession. Police say at around 7 p.m. when the parade was getting started, the vehicle began to move. It accelerated unexpectedly, hitting two men. It then crashed through this fence at the garden center across the street.
He came through the fence with so much force.
This video obtained by 7 News shows the moment the vehicle plowed through the property, ultimately slamming into a tree. Within seconds, police are there and walk the man away.
My visceral reaction was that we were being attacked.
Almost immediately following the incident, the mayor of Fort Lauderdale called what happened a terrorist attack against the LGBT community. On Sunday, he walked back his initial statements.
I regret the fact that I said it was a terrorist attack because we found out that it was not.
Mayor Trantalis, one of dozens who attended a vigil honoring those involved. The pain of the tragedy felt by so many.
It was an accident. We all know that now. And it's such an unfortunate situation, but you know, it is peace of mind to be able to come to talk about it and support the community.
Well, this made national and international news. It was one of the first pride parades in America to return. We were on stage at the time. I was on stage with Faye and other hosts. And ultimately, I was asked to make the announcement that the parade had been canceled, but the festival would stay open. What do y'all think about what we've watched? Now we've had a little time to digest over a number of days. Saturday, Sunday's vigil event here at Sunshine. What do y'all think?
Well, I'm glad to see that the mayor has kind of recanted a bit and apologized for really stepping out way too far on a limb on the night or on the day of.
He showed that he was human, Ty, because exactly what he expressed was what I was thinking. I know that it's Wednesday right now, but being pulled off a stage in that kind of manner and being that fearful that we were being attacked, I'm still not okay. I'm still shaken, and it was an accident, boys, and I'm still not okay from what happened.
I was there with friends, and I remember them recalling like, oh, you know, I don't feel safe. I want to go home. This is like our first Pride event where we're all together.
Yeah, you stayed till 4 in the morning, bro.
I was
Please.
still there. I was still there. I didn't leave.
From the hood. I packed up my people and left. That's what we do.
There.
We don't run towards the gun violence. We run away. We were out.
Well, I
tuck and roll.
I was safely passed out by then. So.
Yeah. I think from one Pride to another, it's just like whether it was an accident. I mean, it was an accident, but even if it wasn't, I mean, from our perspective, from a festival organization perspective, something could happen like that to anybody, right?
Correct.
So just from one Pride to another, our deepest condolences sort of just go out to this tragic incident.
You know, it was a strange event, Peter. Speaking of Miami Beach Pride, the way we were opening, no one's even seen our opening that we did. We have a special opening for the Pride Parade that had drone footage and the overview of the transition out of pandemic into Pride after 15 months.
Yeah.
And I I opened on the main stage with Miami Beach Pride and Pride Fort Lauderdale, and we thought it was a perfect way to celebrate Pride in America and in South Florida by having the Stonewall Pride Parade get ready and having Miami Beach Pride and Pride Fort Lauderdale to celebrate that Stonewall Pride was getting ready to begin. And I was stretching. They kept telling me, stretch the interview. And it's like, well, we've pretty much said when Miami Beach Pride is going to be, Pride Fort Lauderdale. And
what are you wearing? I mean, what are we going to do?
What are you wearing tonight? Right, exactly. And then Faye and Tony Lima and Kitty Meow and Camille Lewis co-hosted, and they were on with me, and we were sitting. And then it came to a complete stop and off the stage, and they had the DJ restart. We went in, and it wasn't long before they pulled me up back on the stage to ask me to make the announcement. But what was strange about, I just want to say in defense of our gay mayor of Fort Lauderdale, Dean Trentellis, I understand why he did what he did, because everyone around me was doing the exact same thing. The first news that we heard was that it was a pickup truck with flags on it, and everybody was saying it's Trumpsters.
Yep.
That's what was being said and texted immediately. So you can understand the miscommunication.
Well, and can I say that also because you lost someone at Pulse, which is still fresh on our minds. We just, we just had 5 years of it, right? So it's been 5 years, and since you lost someone very close to you at Pulse, immediately when we got that information, we didn't know for sure what was going on. Al automatically got weird. He turned off. He went to a corner somewhere, and so then that freaked me out even more because I'm thinking maybe they're not telling me something. They're not telling the lesbians.
What am I missing?
What am I missing?
Yeah, that's exactly right. The PTSD of Pulse came back Saturday at Stonewall. Thank goodness it wasn't that, though.
But the mention of the pickup truck brings up the point that now might be a good time to have special licenses and tests for people in pickup trucks. The average Florida driver has a hard enough time in their Camry or their Mercury Marquis, if you know what I mean, that to get behind the wheel of an F-150 or a Ram 1500.
Okay, but understand that he wasn't able to walk the parade, which was the reason why they said, here, drive this. I mean, whoever idea that was to give him that big truck, I know that they're upset about making that decision. I've gotten my heel stuck in my car, and I drive a truck as well, so I can see how easily something like that could happen.
The one thing that I hope comes from the event, thank goodness, it was a tragic accident, but it was an accident. The one thing that I do hope comes from it, and Peter, I'm thrilled that you're here at It's Happening Out hosting on the first show after the parade event at Stonewall. I think likely, now that we know it was an accidental event, that this is going to unite us in a very unique way. We've not only come out of pandemic for 15 months, but the crowd was humongous on Saturday because of the need and desire and want to celebrate. And Wilton Manors and Pride Fort Lauderdale and Miami Beach and Unity Coalition and others, Hialeah in October. I think we're going to see a Summer Flock Fest in July, the Bears event at Labor Day, Halloween. There's so many different Halloween events. I think we're going to see a 2021 celebrating the LGBTQ community unlike anything we have ever seen before.
Cabin fever is real.
People
are just ready to
they're ready to be out.
It is real.
In these streets.
And can we please show love to law enforcement? I mean, they came through. They made that happen real quick. They responded so quickly, and thank you for all they did at that event.
Absolutely. This could be a very different themed It's Happening Out.
Correct.
If different things were at play. So it allows us to have fun, and I'm going to be shady to all of you people. That's what happened on Saturday at Stonewall Pride. All right. Well, you are watching a live and unedited LGBTQ talk show, the most popular in the world. 50,000 of you watched last week on YouTube. Thank you very much. So remember, anything can happen. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and click the bell for updates. If you're on Facebook, like and share the video. Let's begin, like we always do at It's Happening Out, with a unique meme of the week. And this week, the meme is called, I haven't seen this, called Companies on July 1st.
Oh, God.
Companies on July 1st. All right. So What do you think?
I don't even know what to say about that.
Well, it means that the rainbow that they're
It's gone.
flying this month will be gone by
Next
month, right, on the 1st.
It'll be on the dark side of the moon.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, I was trying to work in the album cover there.
See,
Which album cover is that time?
Pink Floyd.
Pink
Floyd.
Floyd's Dark
Yep.
Side of the Moon. Yeah, it kind of stabs me right in the heart. Looking
But
at
truth,
this
but it's the
meme.
truth, Al. Think about all these companies that like don't even support us, but now they have the rainbow icons on their websites and on their Twitter and all that. Screw you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I said that part out loud. I don't. Oh my God, let me touch my.
All right, well, let's hope it's not, and I think we're going to have a fantastic summer. Flockfest is coming. I'm going to watch thousands of beautiful men on the beach. It's going to be
Naked.
perfect.
I'll be there, Al.
Exactly right.
I might be there this year.
All right. Well, It's Happening Out, as you know, is part of the Happening Out television network, Hotspots Magazine, and WeMag Events. Hotspots, by the way, is celebrating 35 years of the LGBTQ experience. Now all merged, all three brands have merged. We bring you the best of LGBTQ news, entertainment, and support of our LGBTQ plus community. Okay, with all of that said, who needs a drink?
Let's drink.
Yes, please.
All right. We have
It's been almost
shots
3 hours.
in front. Wait, 3
I was
hours
gonna
in
say
the
30
show?
minutes.
Oh, wow.
What is that?
14 minutes, 32 seconds. All right, let's play our yes or no game called I'd Swallow That. Now, Peter, does that ring any bells for you? That I'd
swallowing
swallow
stuff?
that?
No.
Fresh wound, yes.
Yeah, and we're not talking about alcohol.
Too
I was
soon,
making
Al.
it
Too
inappropriate, right? Exactly. Okay. All right. We invite you to play at home right along with us, as I'm going to ask these hosts 4 questions. If they agree with the question, they take the shot, and I assure you, we're getting ready to drink nitroglycerin here. Well, if they disagree, they don't touch the shot, they don't do it. And if they do disagree, it's going to be a long night for all of us. All right, everybody ready? We know our
Let's
moves?
do this
Do
thing.
it.
All right, then let's play I'd Swallow That. Well, here is an Oakland Park neighbor to Wilton Manors, a home here in Oakland Park, a neighbor to Wilton Manors, a homeowners association finds a gay couple for displaying, are you ready for this? An LGBTQ flag for Pride Month. It has made national news, and now in support, other homeowners association residents are now flying rainbow flags in the neighborhood also. So, question number 1, I'd swallow that. I was shocked that you could not fly a pride flag in the gayest place on planet Earth.
Yeah.
This is not Lincoln, Nebraska.
Shocked.
No, I was super shocked. Homeowners associations seem like a big pain in the ass. Thank God I don't have one of those. I have to say that because every
they
time we
are.
do a news story like this, we did a news story the other day about something similar, and what that gay couple did was do all their uplighting in rainbow colors.
Right.
It's like, here, take that. I won't wave the flag, but now you've got my whole house rainbow. Take that.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't do the shot because South Florida is like home to every Karen in the world. I'm absolutely not surprised.
Oh, wait, have you met Karen?
Hi, hola, Karencita, ¿cómo estás? Mucho gusto.
But literally, this homeowners association is 10 minutes from this studio,
The
which
gayest
is the largest progressive
city
queer church in the
America.
world. What is it about even, this is probably a liberal blue homeowners association,
Like-
but they get a little power and they become Nazis.
Right.
What's that
Well, and
all
Oakland
about?
Park is also trying to appeal to the gay community. They're trying to get more gay people to move there.
Yeah.
People who can't afford Wilton Manors, they're priced out of there. Oakland Park is right next
I
door.
wonder, was it like a warning or was it just like a fine that came to the mailbox?
$50
Like
a day.
A
They're
day.
being fined $50 a day.
A day.
And
So-
the 2 guys, I'm sorry that I don't say their names because we did do it in Queer News Tonight. They have said, okay, well, fine us because we're going to fly it until June 30th. And then it made national news and other members.
So they flew the flag and just started getting a bill.
And by the way, I think we showed the picture. I'm not sure.
I mean, can I get a warning?
The flag is 8. There, look at the
Look
flag.
at it. It's not even.
It's
That's
under their
nothing.
mailbox.
Right.
It's like the size of a.
Meanwhile,
It's
they're
like the
probably the
size-
nastiest couples like doing it like on the lawn, right? And they're not getting.
By the way, I learned this
They're not getting
yesterday.
fined.
The president of the homeowner, this was a 3-2 vote to fine them. The president of the homeowners association was part of the minority vote. He said
So he
no,
didn't want it
He
either.
didn't want it either. So anyway, all right, let's move on. The first American airline celebrates Pride in a historic way. And before we do this shot or I ask you this question, watch this.
For over a decade, Alaska Airlines has joined together with LGBTQ+ organizations
from Anchorage and Seattle to Portland, San Francisco, San Diego, Palm Springs, and Honolulu.
LGBTQ+ organizations support valuable community resources and host inclusive celebrations that unite our team and communities to create belonging.
We haven't been able to come together in over a year, so we're about to take the festivities to a whole new level. Keep your eye on the sky.
A Pride plane, the first one in America. Question number 2. I'd swallow that. I want to fly on the Alaskan Airlines Pride plane.
Let's go to Alaska.
No, it doesn't only fly to Alaska. Didn't you just hear the story, John? My Lord. It needs to come here, though. Yes, I want to fly on that plane. It's beautiful. And at every gate, they have like a little pseudo circuit party. How cool is that?
It's the only way you're going to get me on an Alaska Airlines flight.
Really?
Literally.
You don't like Alaska?
No.
Oh, I love
But
the state or the airline?
The airline.
Oh,
but on the plane.
I love the airline. I love the airline.
Love the airline. Love you, Alaska Airlines. Don't listen to Ty. He's only a doctor.
That's right. That's right.
Just a bougie bitch.
You know, when I saw this, the thing that was super interesting to me is they're headquartered, I believe, in Seattle. And Anchorage too, but mostly Seattle. And the plane is flying. There's the plane. There, we're showing it to you. Is flying from Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, but they're going to fly to other places. Can I get dibs in right now in September of this year? For the weekend of Miami Beach Pride, we want to see that plane fly
that would be great.
from San Francisco.
Yes,
to Seattle.
yes.
Wouldn't
And
that be
look,
great?
Look at that plane. They even have a daddy on it. Look, isn't that cute? I love it.
Here's a little secret.
Yes.
I reached out to Alaskan Airlines yesterday.
And?
I'm going to be telling you some things very soon.
Oh.
It's very exciting.
Tell them to call us at Miami Beach Pride. They can land right on the beach.
Yeah.
We can make that happen.
Right, exactly. All right. Well, let's move on. It's June Pride Month, and there is lots of conversation about rainbow capitalism. But this week, something more happened. Question number 3. I'd swallow that. Oreo makes the right decision with teaming up with PFLAG. Look at the new Oreo box for PFLAG.
I love it.
Adorable.
I'll definitely drink to that. Cheers.
This raises money for PFLAG. Everybody knows PFLAG is an LGBTQ nonprofit that helps support students, children, young people in our community with parents.
Love it, love it.
My friend JP every weekend buys Oreos and walks up and down the drive with them. So I want to figure out how to register him to get some of these.
And what does he do with the Oreos? Just passing them out?
He passes them out. He eats them.
Oh, he eats them.
Well, he passes them out more. He hasn't eaten since 1984.
You know, that's really funny because Ty is very well known on Walton Drive. You live in Miami-Dade County, so you wouldn't know this. Ty is very well known. He walks up and down the drive passing out absolute shots. And the same situation with the Oreos, he does most of the shots himself. And occasionally he passes one out.
I usually have a large water bottle with me.
Oreos and shots. Can we make
That's how
that
you
happen?
get your dates. You get them drunk.
How else am I getting a date?
I just hope they taste better than the Lady Gaga Oreos.
Oh,
which tasted like
I did too.
Which
They were terrible.
They tasted like recycled disco and a cry for attention.
That's not Lady Gaga. Is that what Lady Gaga tastes like?
I hope not.
Your soundbite wins. We're going to move on.
I was going to say, with all due respect, you look like you like anything with cream in the middle.
All right, Peter is on board. Peter has arrived. All right.
You know that thing I said about Alaska Airlines and Miami Beach Pride? Off the table. We'll wait till November at Pride Fort Lauderdale. Well, no, I'm only kidding. All right, let's move on. Mostly southern states are passing hate-filled laws against the LGBTQ community. You're seeing it in the national news. But Louisiana's Democratic governor just vetoed the trans sports law that we're seeing everywhere, and he vetoed it this week. So question number 4, I'd swallow that. I was surprised another ignorant Republican state finally makes the right decision. I was surprised. I'm digging the shot. Oh, we're all taking this.
I mean, it takes big bollocks to stand up against your legislature and veto something. So well done.
In Louisiana.
Well, and being a Democrat,
That's swallowing half.
I think he figures out
You're
that there are.
swallowing half.
It's a non-issue. They have bigger fish to fry
They
in
have bigger
Louisiana than this.
Wait, I want to
Exactly.
come
And
back
I
to
think
Peter.
you-
You're probably not a good boyfriend then, right?
Why would-
Stop hitting on him now, my lord.
As opposed to
The whole.
the full load.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
You're fine. No, I was going to say I agree with Faye. I think they have bigger fish to fry, but I think you find in all of these states that little pockets of sanity. So it wasn't that surprising to me. So that's why I was drinking half. But yes, we need more of these trailblazers.
Can I have your other half?
Similar things.
Yeah.
Can I have the other half?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Wait.
We'll see how the show goes.
This is not Scruff or Grinder. Right. Back it down. Let's back it down. All right.
I'm thirsty.
We know he's within 6 feet, but geez, come on.
John, did you know Ty was thirsty? Dr. Hauser was thirsty.
Who would have thought?
Breaking news at the top of this.
Shocking.
All right. All right, next up, let's consider the best thing of the week. This week on Queer News Tonight, we reported, wait, my shots are kicking. Just saying. These are real shots. This week on Queer News Tonight, we reported that OkCupid has added bottom. Where's my head going to turn? I'm not sure. Bottom or bear and switch in its list of new LGBTQ plus identifiers. Okay. So you can go on OkCupid and you can identify in various different ways. What do y'all think about that?
What is an OkCupid?
Right, what is that?
It's like it's a dating app. Like a
Tinder, Grinder, Scruff.
Bumble, something like
but I
that.
thought it was mostly straight.
But it is. So that's what I was going to say. This is
straight.
on board with other options for gay men other than Grindr. So that's what I'm on board
What
with.
do you use?
Everything. But nobody responds to me on Tinder, but I think that's just me.
You're single. Kind of.
Wow,
It's complicated.
Wow.
It's
All right.
complicated.
So, it's complicated. Oh, now everybody knows what that. No.
Check my profile on OkCupid.
Let me just see what's on Grindr right now.
So your observation on OkCupid is because it doesn't really principally identify as an LGBTQ dating app like a Grindr or a Scruff, that adding these designations are an embracement of our community.
Exactly. It gives us more options, I think.
More options, exactly.
You guys think Grindr should do the same thing? Does Grindr do the same thing?
Open
They've
it.
taken away my account and I want it back, Grindr!
There's a very good reason why your account has been taken away.
Because I'm a top. I'm a power top. That's why they took it away. I get it. It's okay.
Do lesbians use those distinctions?
Apparently.
Well,
We
this
do
one
now.
does.
I do.
Let's do it the size of the strap.
How about identifying as an identification in OkCupid as a bottom? Does that offend anybody?
It shouldn't. Like, why should you shame anybody regardless of their role?
Yeah.
I say if you like it, I love it.
Exactly.
Wow, Al is loving this right now.
I'm loving Miami Beach Pride so much. No, I love it. But a lot of people would say if you discuss top or bottom in any significant way, you're creating a situation where people might respond in a negative way because of the identification.
Right.
Do you think that their identification, especially the bottom and the switch identifications, anybody have any problems with that at all?
No.
The problem is with the people that think it's a problem.
Right.
It's not with the people who choose to identify.
Right.
And it's an option. You don't
I
have to
think
put
you're
it.
sort of trying, the point of these apps is to be able to connect with somebody.
Yeah.
So having a meaningful connection, you have to have these conversations, or we have these conversations in our community up front. So if this is just a way to communicate to another person if you're going to be compatible or not. I don't think it has to do with identifiers or labels or anything like that, but this label culture, I think, is going so far out of bounds because there are certain things that are true. So can we list what those are? And that's my truth, and I want to share it with you to see if your truth and my truth hit it off.
Yeah.
So we all agree in taking the shot. We're cheerleading OkCupid for doing this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Greg's taking an extra shot.
Okay.
Now it's the appropriate time to finish that.
Finish the other half. I got it. We're going to return to that later, Peter. I assure you. All right. Now, let's move on to our segment called What's on Your Mind. Each host is going to tell us in just 30 seconds what is important to them this week. But remember, in just 30 seconds, or what's going to happen, Faye?
That stupid bell that I hate.
Right next to
Oh
you.
my
There we
God.
go.
Right
Ready. One more time.
Is it louder this week? Or
And
is it
for
just
my
me?
friend, Faye.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
You'll hear that bell. in
I guess the sandwich is up.
Oh, what's on my mind is that my ears are
That's
ringing.
right.
That's what's on my mind.
That's right. All right. So as a result, what's on your mind? And let's start with Faye. What's on your mind this week?
Aside from that damn bell, what's on my mind is working out, all right? All you gym people that love working out and say that it brings up endorphins and that you feel good about yourself, I have 2 fingers for you, and I'm not going to put them up right now because, you know, we're a family-oriented show. Working out sucks. I've been working out. Don't never have your wife be your trainer either. That's a bad idea. I am sore. My hair hurts, okay? Burpees should be punishment.
It's working.
That's what it should be. Thank you.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh,
Well played, son. Well played.
We hate it until the compliment.
Right.
Wait, you are a gay man. All right. Teresa, by the way, Teresa, you're doing a great job. Peter, tell us what's on your mind this week.
I mean, mine is, I 100% agree with you. I hate the gym. But what's on my mind?
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm looking at your arms and I know that.
I hate, well,
Liar!
thank you to my genetics.
Child.
No, okay, so we've been doing a lot of pride planning, so I'm in full pride mode. And one of the things we're doing this year is a lot of additional programming around social justice. So we're doing a social justice night, and I'm excited to be able to program that.
Tell us when that is.
That's going to be on September 13th, and we're still finalizing the venue, but we're going to be tackling a lot of different issues. We're going to have breakout sessions. We're going to have a lot of guest speakers and hosts and stuff like that. So that's what's on my mind, because we've just been programming so much.
Excellent. That sounds great. And John, what's on your mind this week?
I am still on Saturday Stonewall. I was happy to celebrate Pride and come together, but the proclamation of Juneteenth by the city of Wilton Manors was extraordinary, and I was happy to be on stage and be part of that and have that declaration done in one of the gayest cities in America to celebrate everything that includes us.
John, I have to zero in. What kind of experience? You scratch at the surface, but I give you a second ability to pitch. What kind of experience was it for you as a gay man to be able to intersect Stonewall, the word Stonewall, which that's a religious word for us in our community, a pride parade and Juneteenth all at the same time? What was your reaction to that experience?
It was astonishing in the fact that, you know, you take into consideration a fight that was started by a transgender black woman, Marsha P. Johnson, and Sylvia Rivera, and then you have Juneteenth, which commemorates the ending of slavery and being taken advantage of unfairly by people, and then you bring us together as one, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter your skin color, it doesn't matter where you come from. What matters at most is in your heart and knowing that we're all human, and you know, social injustices shouldn't be a part of our community, but unfortunately it is, and it's glad to see that finally being acknowledged and being talked about and moving forward and continuing to build together.
You know, I give you the extra
We need
time
a
to
shot
say
for that one, right?
We do. I give you the extra time to be able to make that intersection, because Saturday
important.
was incredible because of that. And I remind everybody, in case you're not completely clear of Juneteenth, of course, it's now a federal national holiday, which President Biden signed. But it is the celebration of Texas and the end of the announcement of slavery, but it didn't come for 2 years after emancipation. So it's it's kind of a two-edged sword in terms of the celebration that it's doing. So that's why it was important. And the other thing I want to give an extra second on is, were you one of those people of color celebrating Juneteenth, among others, that were shaking your ass doing that flash mob.
I was right on
Tell
stage.
us that experience.
And that was awesome too, to be a part of the flash mob with Sade Ross, as well as Kashai and others here in our community. It was a great time. JB Men's, thank you for making that happen. It was awesome just for us to be there and doing it together on the Black Excellence stage of all.
And we were broadcasting for the very short period of time that we broadcast on the Black Excellence stage in the gayest place on planet Earth, in LGBT and Juneteenth and Stonewall and Pride. They all intersected together. Saturday was a big deal for all of us. And the flash mob, the reason I give you that opportunity is we turn to Peter and go, Miami Beach Pride better step it up in terms of having a flash mob, because we all really, really liked it. I watched it, and I liked you shaking your ass. I'm just saying.
Tiffany Fantasia can lead it. Tiffany can totally do it.
Exactly. Tiffany Fantasia can totally do it.
I'm sure.
And Greg, what's on your mind this week?
Relief that whatever happened on Saturday wasn't worse than it was, that everything seems to be moving along, and just, yes, it's something I'll never forget being there, but it's a relief that it was not as horrible as it could have been.
You know, so many people remarked on this issue. You know why this was a big event from my seat? When Sunshine Cathedral, I'm very proud of Sunshine Cathedral, we broadcast from here. Reverend Dr. Darrell Watkins and Reverend Dr. Robert Griffin hosted on Sunday, immediately the next day, a community vigil that brought together various religious organizations, political leaders, the mayors of Wilton Manor and Fort Lauderdale, Miami Beach Pride, Pride Fort Lauderdale, other LGBT organizations, including nonprofits, to just simply say, we're community, let's stand together in community. I recognized that Saturday was a big event because I helped Darrell Watkins, as he is interviewed by CNN and MSNBC and all of the networks. They're here, and I understand it, they're here as media outlets to sensationalize the worst of what they thought it could be. And they're following that story through to conclusion of, wait, it wasn't the worst that it could be. Could have been, which is what the story that CNN is exploring. And they're making sure, did we explore this story to its end conclusion? Saturday was a big deal for our community, and it's an indication of the pins and needles, even in celebrating our pride, that we're all still sitting on. Ty Hauser, what's on your mind this week?
Well, the pins and needles, I think, sets me up well, Al, because as you said in my introduction, I teach internationally, and I have not traveled since Valentine's Day. Since Valentine's Day of 2020, I came back from London the day after Valentine's Day. And even before that, I haven't seen my family since Thanksgiving of 2019. So I bought a ticket, and I'm going to Pennsylvania next week to visit my family. And I realized when I bought the ticket how much anxiety I had about traveling, and what a relief I felt after I actually just put that foot forward and made the commitment to do it. I have a niece that I haven't met yet. I've got nieces and nephews that can't wait to see me, brothers, sisters.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
Parents.
So that's what's on everybody's mind. And Faye, just because I always tease you, I'm going to give you a minute more. Anything else that you want to say?
Oh my God, well, there's so much that...
All right. Next, let's catch up with the news from the world of entertainment. A Las Vegas Raiders player, NFL player, came out of the closet this week, becoming the first active NFL player to be openly gay. He donated $100,000 to the Trevor Project in his announcement, and then 2 days later, the NFL matched it to celebrate. Watch this.
What's up, people? I'm Carl Nassib. I'm at my house here in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Just want to take a quick moment to say that I'm gay. I've been meaning to do this for a while now, but I finally feel comfortable enough to get it off my chest. I really have the best life. I got the best family, friends, and job a guy could ask for. I'm a pretty private person, so I hope you guys know that I'm really not doing this for attention. I just think that representation and visibility are so important. I actually hope that like one day videos like this and the whole coming out process are just not necessary. But until then, you know, I'm going to do my best and do my part to cultivate a culture that's accepting, that's compassionate, and I'm going to start by donating $100,000 to the Trevor Project. They're an incredible organization. They're the #1 suicide prevention service for LGBTQ youth in America, and they're truly doing incredible things. And I'm very excited to be a part of it, to help in any way that I can. And I'm really pumped to see what the future holds. That's all I have for you guys. I hope you have a great day. Work hard.
That is the value of having June Pride Month. So tonight's celebrity hot topic, Carl Nassib makes LGBTQ plus history in the NFL's toxic masculinity. He breaks it. What's next in the NFL coming from this? What do y'all think?
We need more men to step up. I mean, you know, there's more gay athletes out there that are high-profile gay, gay athletes that could come and represent and say, "Hey, I'm gay, so be it."
Tim Tebow?
Just flying around.
Wait, he's an athlete?
Sports ball.
Sports ball.
Okay, I've got 2 words for this one. Girl, bye. Like, a cisgender, muscular, white, rich male comes out and says he likes boys. Where's the news?
Shocking.
So for me, this is like, this is not newsworthy. For me, I would have preferred him to just donate the money and say, here's the money to the Trevor. No, not stay in the closet. Maybe he wasn't in the closet, is what he's saying, right? But he's a private person coming out on Instagram.
Right.
Okay, it's not sucking and driving for me here. Like, I need you to do what you're going to do. And then, by the way, I'm gay. But it led with, I'm gay. I'm a private person. And then, by the way, the Trevor Project, I'm not buying it. Go sit down with the Bachelor.
But you don't think that visibility helps us? I mean, look, he's hot. And he's got a lot of followers. And someone can see that and say, hey, I'm just like him. Let me come out.
No,
he can come out. I can't too.
I don't think so. Because I think we've got to let's normalize being gay. Gay, you're gay. Okay, what else is new? Exactly. What else is new?
But if he was a man of color coming out as gay, it would be different for you?
It depends on how the media reacts to it. My issue is not only with him, it's with the pickups. Like, why are we even discussing this? It depends.
We do stories on the first trans this. We do stories on.
Fascinated by your response, and the reason I'm fascinated about it is because I don't think that this, and I could be wrong on it. I'll give you the.
You've been wrong before, Al. Many times.
Maybe twice. I don't think this is a color issue. I think that this is an issue of toxic masculinity, regardless of your color. In that you're dealing with a sport that has basically. I played football. And when
tight end
and
wide receiver.
Keep it coming, guys. That's the only position I know.
First off, y'all have no idea. This is sports. Y'all don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, very true. Well, I can't even think of a position.
But toxic masculinity in football was an absolute situation. You could not be gay, even if you were gay. You could not be. It's impossible. This story is about the toxic masculinity. And that's why I'm fascinated by your response, because I do think it's a big deal from the standpoint of everyone that has come out in the NFL has done it post-retirement, where it does not affect their paycheck, it does not affect their endorsements.
They're not in the locker room.
Right. Not in the locker room. There's some issue about, well, you're going to shower and you're going to see my dick. Well, so what?
Who cares?
But that's the attitude of toxic masculinity, and that's why
the part of this story that really I love is that he was actually, I'm a huge Penn State football fan. You don't know this, but I actually do know football a little bit. Yeah. And I went to Penn State, and so he was a Penn State player. And Penn State really needs some good news on this kind of front. Yeah. And on top of it, James Franklin stepped up with a $10,000 donation to the Trevor Project as well.
The executive director of the NFL came out instantaneously. He had no notice of it. Within 2 hours, he came out in a statement speaking as voice for the NFL about their support of it, and the response of the players union, has been overwhelming. This is much more than the tokenism of it. And that's why your observation, you were the first voice that I've heard to express that, and I think it's fascinating because our expectation is that we want more, but in this sport, we get almost nothing. So that's why I think it's important. And by the way, in terms of Penn State, everyone here in South Florida, they're hating on you right now because Penn State, Miami, Doug Flutie, and we will never forgive Penn State here in South Florida, or the poster that they did after that national championship game with all of the Miami players lying on the ground and the Penn State players standing on them, that they had killed them all. That's what they did that year with Doug Flutie. So you be a big voice for Penn State.
Piss off, Al.
Anyway, interesting. That's our discussion on entertainment. Next, we reported Happening Out Television Network that we try our best to help support our LGBTQ community and nonprofits. An example is the Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. We are broadcasting from our permanent set in supporting that partnership. The network broadcasts the largest LGBTQ religious broadcast in the entire world, with more than 30,000 watching every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and it's totally live. We encourage you to tune in. Our campaign of sponsorship proudly supports Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church. Watch this.
I'm Nick Matheny from the University of Miami, and Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
Gosh, I wish y'all could hear the conversation when you're watching video packages at this table. Finally, we thank It's Happening Out's hotel sponsor, the Best Western, I-95 in Fort Lauderdale. This is the closest and best choice to the famous Wilton Drive, and our host and guests stay at this LGBTQ ally partner. We encourage you to stay here when visiting South Florida. Well, up next, if we were standing around that LGBTQ water cooler, this is what we would all be talking about. We refer to it as the hot topic of the week. Well, it's June Pride Month, and that means companies like CVS, Comcast, AT&T, Walmart, and General Motors are flying the rainbow flags, all the while supporting anti-LGBTQ plus politicians. So that brings us to tonight's hot topic. It's June Pride's rainbow capitalism while donating to anti-gay politicians. But our question is, does it even matter to the LGBTQ plus community?
That's a good question. I'm going to be the contrarian here again. I mean, I think for representation, there's so many disjoints that go on within organizations with what somebody is going to donate, like maybe at a CEO or financial officer level, versus how someone's running a local store or a franchise within a region potentially decides to do. I think you've got to look at both of those scenarios. Plus, let's talk about how many transgender, gay, bi, folks that are working at CVS that have had a great experience. And so I think we just have to look at it on both sides of the coin. If they're going to represent us, we need to dig a little deeper than just listening to.
Interesting observation. I want to follow up. I received a text message today from a pretty high-placed representative of Walmart asking how they could help in terms of getting involved in a number of prides. And I haven't replied yet to it because I've been thinking about whether I even want to or not. And to your point, does LGBTQ care that Walmart might donate to a politician that doesn't love us? Because Walmart's saying, wait, we're a multinational billion dollar corporation, and we support Pride and we support the LGBTQ community, but we donate to politicians all over the place. Do we care about this?
We should.
You have to speak with your wallet. What other way can you speak? You have to be careful where you spend your money. It's really that simple. I mean,
I believe in following the money. But I also believe in, okay, what's the other side of that? Have they supported organizations that do support LGBTQ plus? Are they hiring? Are they practicing non-discrimination practices within the workplace? Like those types of things matter as well than for you to, as a journalist, maybe single out a couple of instances, add it up, and then say they've supported a non-gay agenda.
Not in argument, but just to put that right in front of you. Wells Fargo has donated to many anti-LGBTQ candidates. They have, I believe, last memory, 100% rating for the HRC. But they contribute money to various different campaigns because they seed money in all kinds of places because they want to continue.
And what happens when these politicians change their mind, right? So it's like, oh, now my daughter came out as gay and I'm not going to be, but so this happened in 2017, maybe 2019 he's got a different perspective on. So, I mean, there's just so many nuances within this. If they want to put our flag in the Instagram window for more representation and for more awareness for our community,
I think the fascinating focus of this conversation is not whether whatever they do. The real focus is, do we care about this? And let me give you the proverbial joke behind the scenes. We love our Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
No, but I won't go there. I won't have a piece of that hate sandwich.
Many in the LGBTQ community eat the Chick-fil-A sandwich.
And I won't.
Well, and that's on them. But for me, the second that I found out how much they hated us and how much they wanted us dead and the amount of money that they sent to certain bills that would hurt our trans brothers and sisters, I will never.
Against the equality.
I don't care how good that hate sandwich is. That is never touching these lesbian lips.
It's true, but
everyone at the table, by the way, was thinking, well, what would touch lesbian lips anyway?
You'd be surprised, baby. You'd be surprised.
Chick-fil-A sandwich or kissing a woman?
Go. I'll kiss the woman.
Gun to your head. Which one?
Right. I'll kiss the woman proudly.
Well, and then Burger King, remember the last time on the news, you had the Burger King sandwich because they saw an opportunity, right?
I think in terms of the community, though, we react more to the immediate thing than the long-term thing. So if we know someone who works at CVS who is part of our community, we're going to be okay with that.
And does that mean that, let me be the contrarian. Does that mean that we could stereotype the LGBTQ community, and let me focus on gay men specifically, that we are kind of squirrelish? And as a result, we don't care unless it's really important to us at that moment.
The good point about stereotypes is that it's not whether they're true or false, it's whether they're fair or not.
Yeah.
And so I think that would be an unfair stereotype.
Yeah.
But stereotypes exist for a reason.
Yeah.
But how should, back to the question, how should we care? So if the answer to the question is yes, we should care that they are supporting the gay agenda while trying to capitalize on our community, how should we care? What should we do? Should I go to my trans brother or sister that is working the cash register who needs this job and say, you better quit because they're on a gay agenda?
No.
The question is, how should we care then, right?
Well, if you feel so strong about it, then you don't shop at CVS.
Right.
Basically what you do. I almost respect Chick-fil-A more for telling us to our face that they don't want anything to do with us.
But follow that logic through, though, because we've got friends that are working in these places. Are we now trying to educate our friends on why they need to not be there? If this is a means to an end, if they've had a great experience and they work in an inclusive environment, if we're practicing what we preach, follow the logic.
Well, so the answer is lead by example.
I think so.
I don't think we have to preach to anyone. I just think that we have to lead by example. And others will follow if we set a good example.
I'm curious, one final thought on this issue. I've seen, it's been happening over the last couple of years. Rainbow capitalism is being talked about, but it's only talked about in the month of June. Interestingly enough, and I mean the LGBT community only talks about it in the month of June. In September, we won't talk about anybody that embraces in a capitalistic way pride events. Miami Beach will get lots of sponsors. Celebrity Cruise Lines is a fantastic sponsor of Miami Beach Pride. We won't talk about rainbow capitalism in September at Miami Beach Pride. We do it in June. So the question is, are we satisfied with what we are watching? We're about 2/3 of the way through June Pride Month. We're a week away from Stonewall and New York City Pride, Los Angeles Pride, etc. Are we satisfied with what corporate America has done in the month of June. We've had more, for example, more media embracement of Pride in all media platforms in history. GLAAD reported that we have had this year a 40% increase in the publicity.
I can
Didn't you
attest
say
to
the Today
that.
Show?
Yeah.
Didn't you say the Today Show also,
The
right? Yeah.
NBC platforms, Peacock, and every place else, it's just been overwhelming, the embracement of
We've been picked up nationally this month on the events that we've been doing by Mashable, by Advocate, by a few different national organizations, plus the local. So I think this, I mean, your stats are reflective of that. In addition, and I got to give a shout out just to some of the Miami Beach businesses like One Hotel, Soho Beach House, Freehand Miami. They've all done stuff for Pride, and they're not only doing it for Pride because we have to sort of schedule activations out, and they're all willing to do stuff from now leading up until September if they've missed the.
So your answer is you're satisfied so far with what you've seen in June?
With what I've seen in my community and sort of on the PR side, I've been surprised based on past experiences.
Anybody else? Any final thoughts about what we've seen in June? Are we happy with June Pride Month in terms of what we've seen from the business, corporate, and media world?
I think there's been more progress than not, so I think that's a good thing.
And all the attention is fantastic. That visibility makes us who we are, okay? And last year we didn't get to do this. You know, I hope that it's just as good and just as great and just as apparent next year.
In the coming years.
And what if you live in Nebraska and you happen to be flicking through your, sorry, Nebraska, but you happen to be channel surfing and you come on all these shows that are on, all these ads, and it's like, okay, there's something going on out there.
And like shows like The View have been doing like the Black History FYI for seasons and seasons, but I think this time they did the LGBTQ, which, so to your point, let's see that this continues going on in the media.
The visibility is great, but let's see what happens in 2 years. Let's come back to this and see where we are.
Well, I assure you, Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out, we'll come back to this again, I assure you. All right, well, let's move out of our hot topic this week and explore our LGBTQ plus world. This week, with silly and important headlines in LGBTQ plus news. What are you doing, Faye?
Covering my ears. I'm ready. I'm waiting for the bell.
All right.
Oh my God.
Peter, first time host at Happening Out, and I'm loving it.
You let him touch your bell.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hoping that'll become a recurring. All right, so we're going to play a lightning round. Let's discuss these headlines in our segment we call Saved by the Bell. You're probably going to figure this out. But there's a twist. We are only going to discuss each headline for just 1 minute. And at the end of that minute, Peter, I'm going to give you the honor.
What?
FayWHAT? That is crazy.
There we go. See? That's
Wow.
what you're going to hear.
Wait till we get to the pizza.
I'm
See what happens, buddy.
Peter's in control of the bell. Faye's control of the pizza. All right, we're going to hear that bell, and we're going to move on. Everybody understands the rules?
Yes.
All right. Say by the bell. The White House and the Smithsonian have partnered together for a first-of-its-kind display. Saved by the Bell. Headline number 1. The White House installs an exhibit inside the White House with LGBTQ artifacts and history for Pride Month. What do y'all think?
That's incredible. That's something that Trump and crazy Melania would never have done, you know? And that's like a whole installation. It's not like a little corner or a plaque or here's the flag, okay, happy Pride. No, it's a huge installation with amazing artifacts that they borrowed from the Smithsonian and other places as well. Incredible.
Do you think they have like RuPaul's first dildo?
Her first wig next to the dildo. I don't know. Look at Al doesn't know what to say. Al is like sweating. I think Michelle just called you. You might want to check your phone.
When we get off the air and Peter finds out what I have done with RuPaul's Drag Race, oh my God!
Wow.
No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding.
He was the mold for the first dildo.
Right.
All right, we're done. All right, Saved by the Bell. Headline number 2. It was just announced yesterday that Mar-a-Lago and Donald Trump has installed a LGBT.
Yeah, right.
Okay. True. All right, let's move on. Sunny days may be keeping the clouds away, but there is still rainbows to be seen. Saved by the Bell. Headline number 2. Sesame Street this week featured 2 gay dads in their latest Father Family Day episode. What do y'all think?
What,
Here's the
what,
picture
what?
of it.
That's
First-
incredible.
Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street?
Right? Oh.
First Bert and Ernie, and now this? They're ruining my childhood.
I know.
Well,
That's
so-
what Tucker Carlson's probably going to say.
Sesame Street, like, I did a little research, and like I think their first black character, like, on the show, and also the person that was puppeteering it, it was in 1973, which is kind of amazing when you think of it. So I think Sesame Street being a trailblazer is no new concept. I think they're always been sort of ahead of the curve. So why not? Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see some lesbians. Let's see some trans folks.
Yeah, and what
Well,
a beautiful
actually, I'm
couple.
gonna need Elmo's pronouns though, because like.
I was with you every single word until you said, well, we got to do the same for the girls. No. Okay. One example, we talked about 1973 for African Americans. Now we've talked about gay. Here's another new example. The Navajo people were hit very hard by COVID-19. Highest percentages in the nation at the Navajo tribes in Nevada and Utah. But the issue of COVID got into very complicated things with vaccination and fear. Saved by the Bell headline number 3. The Navajo Nation celebrated over the weekend the first official Pride Parade after this devastating year. What do y'all think about what happened in our native tribes?
That's incredible. I'm so glad that they've been able to get through COVID, you know, and get vaccines out there finally, that they were able to put this event together.
Yeah.
You know, with UC, you guys deal a lot with the
indigenous community. So it's very important, and you know, especially here, right here in our own Everglades community. We have Houston, who always definitely shows up, and I've witnessed and seen, you know, how serious it comes to when it got to even us doing something while we were trying to do programming throughout the pandemic. But we couldn't come there to the reservation because there was a fear of somebody getting COVID. So
Well, to that point, after the Trail of Tears, the least we can do is give them vaccinations.
Yeah,
most definitely. Support, absolutely. All right, after parroting her favorite GOP viewpoints on The View, Jimmy Kimmel asked if Caitlyn Jenner was, quote, Donald Trump in a wig, end quote. Saved by the Bell headline number 4. Caitlyn Jenner then claimed she's a victim of transphobia, and the entire world's reaction was like, girl, stop!
Take several seats.
Caitlyn.
You are a privileged white woman. You have no idea what most trans women have gone through. You will never know what most trans women will go through, which is why none of them are going to stand with you. You are not one of us.
And then you're not even supporting our agenda, like in its true essence of what it is. So we don't have anything for you, bitch.
No, we don't. And Jimmy Kimmel calling her Donald Trump in a wig was not anything towards the trans community. It was basically just saying about her politics.
Yeah,
Her politics
and not
are
only
Trumpish.
that, but let's talk, like, it was a comedy set that he was doing. So let's get back to normalizing when stuff is funny. It's funny.
It's funny.
And that to me was funny and well-deserved.
And she can't take a joke.
So right. Well, so Bette Midler tweeted recently, "You're rich, you're out of touch, you have no experience or business being in public office. You're prime for the GOP."
I love her.
There you have it.
Love you,
There you
Bette.
have it.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't you think it's interesting that she's not done a single thing in 5 years for the trans community, and then she claims she's being discriminated against.
Right.
because she's
Girl
trans. Boo-hoo. All right. Well, last year, the Supreme Court ruled that Title IX protected LGBTQ plus individuals in the workplace. Remember that? Well, Saved by the Bell, headline number 5. Biden this week and the Biden administration extends Title IX protections to transgender students to take on these ridiculous state laws. What do y'all think?
It's a different world now.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the fact that this wouldn't happen under Trump. I mean, this is, things are changing, and he's only got a couple more years, you know, until the next election. So things are changing in a better way.
I think every time we say his name, we should play Hail to the Chief.
Yeah.
Right. He's setting up the constitutional battle against Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida. That's what he's doing here. And does it offend anybody, by the way, your observation, that this is not something you would see? If I add one more step, this is not something you would have seen President President Obama do.
Right.
Does that offend anybody?
It's about time. Time. Things are changing at a snail's pace, but yes, it's unfortunate that he probably wouldn't have, but it was just, we had to survive the last 4 years.
And I think Obama had a lot of other battles to fight too at that time. So everything in its time, everyone can't do everything.
Right. He could.
So I think
do it all.
I think Biden's coming in and doing everything he can when he can.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. All right. Gay former congressman calls for accepting police, even as police brutality continues to take the spotlight in cities around the country. Very controversial subject. Saved by the Bell, headline number 6. Barney Frank blasts New York City Pride for barring uniformed police at the Pride Parade.
This is such a tough topic to be on whatever side. It seems that whatever side you're on, it's on the wrong side. You know, like I have had my own run-ins with the law. I'm not proud of it. I have been in a car pulled over with someone of color where we've been pulled out and been told to do things that you shouldn't do. I've been on that side, but I've also been on the side where police have been there for me. You know, Stonewall Pride, the cops were there in full force. They made things happen. It could have been a mass hysteria, and they made sure that things were collectively okay.
They kept order.
I've gone to many New York City prides, and watching the cops in their uniform with the gay flag and their lapel walking next to us has always filled me with love.
So I think you have to separate, in this case, the system from the individual.
Yes.
And we have failed doing it. We cannot lump everyone together. We've got to separate. Absolutely. The system of the justice system is not fair in this country.
Yes.
Of course. It is just not. And then you've got individuals where we've got black, brown, trans, gay, bi, all working in the system as well that have demonstrated solidarity with our organizations. So I think that also deserves to be recognized and praised.
I'm curious to that observation. I'm not saying that you speak for all people of color, but both of you specifically.
The ones in Miami. They're talking for the ones in Miami.
But very specifically, there's an intersection here for the LGBTQ community, which is what New York Pride has made the decision of, and what we've watched in police abuse in the last year in Black Lives Matter. Does the issue of the inappropriate behavior actions that we have seen from some police officers, does that make you think in the intersection with LGBTQ that New York Pride made the right decision? Do you think it's...
I just wonder who people are going to call when stuff hits the fan.
When something happens.
New York Pride is hiring private security.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, they'll have their own security.
I mean, either way, the justice system is flawed. I know cops, I'm friends with cops, and I've been in situations where I've also had like things done to me, or I've had to do things that I shouldn't have had to do.
Absolutely.
So I'm on the fence.
I just don't know how as an organization we preach inclusivity and being able to identify people appropriately every time, flawlessly. This is what our message is. And we are now, and New York is now lumping a whole entire justice sort of first responder system into one group.
Into one group.
I mean, I think I'm just being 100% honest. I think it's a little hypocritical. I think you could say, hey, we don't want any hetero cops in this. We want all brothers and sisters of your department coming out. I think there needs to be some distinction, but you can't just throw everybody in a basket. Because I don't want people throwing me in a basket.
And I know it's a very complicated subject, but it's interesting to me that that New York Pride made a decision that is exactly what we've asked the broad community not to do against the LGBTQ community. And we did the exact same thing here. Right, wrong, I'm not sure, but I just think I see the hypocrisy of what you just said.
Do you know if there will be gay police in the Miami parade, Pride Parade?
As I think so, we normally have, but see, our parade, we've worked with our department, and we only have literally 4 or 5 cops that come out, and then the rest is security. So, and they're happy with that, and they've been so, supportive.
And we remind everybody all over the country, if you haven't been to Wilton Manors, our rainbow police cars roll up and down the street.
The same thing. We have the rainbow police
it's a
cars.
Completely different, different kind of thing. All right, let's move on. Don't get envy. I didn't know that word until today, by the way. Don't get envy, but there are a lot more of them than we thought. Saved by the Bell, headline number 7. A groundbreaking new study finds that over 1 million non-binary adults live in the United States. Holy crap. What do y'all think?
It's amazing. We all need to be counted, and this is a great groundbreaking study. This is the first of its kind to finally count the non-binary folks in our community. It's incredible, and they're mostly between 18 to 29, which is a very fluid age, right? It's an age where they're just like, they're not like messed up with all the stuff that we had to grow up with.
Just to give you context to the point, it was the #1 argument of 2019 and 2020 against the census. The Trump administration very specifically did not want to identify LGBTQ or non-binary. And there's a very specific reason why they didn't. And that's also what frames this groundbreaking study. There's a lot that are not being qualified in our community.
Yeah. And to that point, non-binary and LGBTQ, if you look at the statistics, we are the largest amount of media consumers. We've got a higher income per capita, I think is what it is. So, those statistics needs to be out there so people understand the impact we have on the economy as well.
We got money to spend.
Yeah, exactly.
That's absolutely true. All right.
It takes a lot of money to look this cheap.
Yeah. And I'm not sure, Peter, if you heard the bell. Did you? Yeah, you did. All right. There we go. Stop! Wait, just one more time. Just your first night?
Just for Faye.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? Right. All right. Well, finally tonight, we are the LGBTQ community. Tucker Carlson, who's watching this right now, he's just figuring this out after an hour. So, the LGBTQ community, what does that mean? Please stop touching us. All right, let's play another game. Our game asks, who would you do? Peter, you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah,
I'm catching the hints.
Yeah. And who would you do, and what would you do to 3 different interesting people? So tonight we play our game. We've played it on every episode for 3 years. It's called Shag, Marry, Chop. And our theme tonight celebrates National Hydration Day. We celebrate everything here at It's Happening Out. And these 3 people are sure to get us, now this was written by production, are sure to get us wet and thirsty.
Yes.
Get it? National Hydration Day.
Okay. Thirsty.
So here, this week, we are going to play with Scott Eastwood and Cooper Wilson and the Ripped Redneck.
Oh,
all right.
My goodness.
So let's play Shag, Marry, Chop. You can see the images. You can see them there or here. Faye, as the token at this table. Oh wait, I don't even know what that means, right? Faye. Right? Faye,
I'm moist. Okay, so I am going to shag Cooper Wilson because that athleticism is everything. So I feel that the
all the
shagging,
water now. Get it? Drinking, swimming, swimmer. Got it. Now I got it. Right?
Okay. Can I go
You're
back?
shagging? Yes. I'm
okay,
sorry
so
to
I'm gonna shag Cooper Wilson.
Okay.
Because I love water sex too, so it's really, really good. What? I do. Okay, I'm gonna marry Scott Eastwood. He just looks like a lot of fun, and he's just very handsome. And I'm gonna chop the Ripped Redneck. PTSD, Trump. I can't.
Everybody knows Scott
Eastwood
is Clint Eastwood's son, the actor.
Oh, and he's got money, so I'm totally marrying him.
And Peter, who would you shag?
This is a hard one. Can I start with who I'm going to chop?
No, you got to start.
I'm going to shag first. All right, we're shagging Eastwood. I need more information, but we're
Scott Eastwood. He is Clint Eastwood. You know who Clint Eastwood is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well then we're definitely, no. Then I'm going to marry him.
See?
Because he's fine and he got money. And he's got daddy's money.
And he's got daddy's money. All right, so who are you going to shag?
So we're definitely shagging the swimmer because...
Cooper Wilson.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're marrying Scott, so the Rip Redneck is now 0 for 2.
Yeah, anybody with redneck in their name gets a chop.
Right?
I don't know if you're
Like,
gonna wake up one morning and realize that I'm black and kill my head.
I was weary. Yeah.
That's funny. That's very
Yeah.
funny. And John, who are you shagging?
Yeah, I think I'll
Look at
shag.
Scott Eastwood at that.
I'll shag Scott Eastwood.
Yeah.
I would marry Cooper Wilson because I used to be a swimmer as well, and I
Look
would
at that breaststroke.
I would definitely chop the ripped redneck.
backstroke.
I can't.
I was thinking about my breasts. So
And, I see. And the Rip Redneck is
chop.
And why?
I just I couldn't.
Does it have the redneck?
Yeah.
It does the same
We
thing?
have
It does.
PTSD.
It's like
You don't
ringing
believe
a
me.
bell.
He's drinking beer like I drink wine.
Like he's got a white truck. You know it. He's got a white truck.
He probably has a truck with
We
the
come from two
Confederate
different worlds.
flag.
The flag,
Yeah.
right?
He probably has a
Just
Confederate
told us, I
flag
need a
plastered.
fine Pinot Noir, and I'm just not having it.
Exactly.
I got it. All right. And Greg, we move into your more mature white privilege. Who are you shagging?
I would
You're
shag
an
Cooper
author
Wilson.
and a poet. And
No, I'm sorry. Duh.
He's not
I
relating to
would,
them, Al. He's sleeping
I
with
would,
shag.
I would shag Scott Eastwood. It would be like a grudge shag because I really hate his father. It'd be a grudge shag.
Ooh, I like that.
I would
Mad
marry
sex.
Now,
Cooper Wilson.
by grudge shag, I'm curious.
aggressive.
We were talking
There's
about
there's aggressiveness
tops
there.
and bottoms.
You know,
which
it's
is
super
grudge?
aggressive.
Oh, he would be, you know, below.
He would be grudge.
He would be below.
Would be grudge. Okay,
And
got
then
it
I
now.
would marry.
Say my name, Eastwood. Say my name.
Marry Cooper Wilson, and then say my name. My last name is Shapiro, so I don't want anything to do with any rednecks.
Nice. He's like
Telling you,
over
Al.
4.
60
All right.
under.
And Ty?
So I gotta shag Scott Eastwood because he's got wood in his name.
Child.
Wow,
How
you came up
long
with that
have
all
you
by
been working
yourself?
on
Wow.
that?
Just about 30 seconds now.
Now, I'm curious. So, because he's got wood in his name, that means what does that mean?
Check his OkCupid profile.
Yeah, check my OkCupid.
Right.
We'll
Okay,
figure it out now.
got it.
I'm going to marry Cooper Wilson because I got a thing for swimmers, and the ripped redneck has to be cut because I grew up in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
You know, I feel sorry for the Rip redneck, so I'm gonna, in a token way, I'm shagging him.
Of course you
Just
are.
saying. All right, before we end the show, that's Shag, Marry, Chop, as you clearly know. Before we end the show, we introduce you to our sponsor, Jet's Pizza. Now, this is where Faye gets to throw it at Peter because of the bell. If you're coming to South Florida, and you've got to try the pizza of choice for the LGBTQ community here. That looks delicious, and I love the cauliflower pizza. We are getting ready to enjoy it here on the set. Well, that is it, America. Another week with you and the world's first and most popular LGBTQ talk show. And before we sign off, we're going to give these hosts one final opportunity to do a good night. And Faye, let's begin with you.
So, FayWHAT? Make sure that you go on my YouTube channel, subscribe, and ring the bell and all that fun stuff. Catch me here on Monday and Wednesdays when I co-anchor Queer News Tonight with Mr. Al Ferguson and the rest of our crazy cast. And Wednesdays on It's Happening Out right here at 9 p.m. on Wednesdays. It is just, I'm so blessed to be able to sit around a table with incredible LGBTQ plus representatives that are strong and powerful, and yet they let me still be me. So thank you for allowing me to be me every Wednesday on It's Happening Out.
And Faye, we're always happy you're here. First time ever host at It's Happening Out, Peter Casey.
Carrie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Of course, and I'm reading teleprompter.
No problem. It was a pleasure being here with you guys for my first time hosting. Maybe, or maybe I will not get an invite back. But you can find me on Instagram at Peter Anthony and Miami Beach Pride. It's happening from September 10th through 19th, 2021. So we hope to see each and every one of you there.
Peter, I assure you, you're going to get an invitation back to It's Happening Out in Queer News Tonight. And don't forget Miami Beach Pride in September. Tell us the date of the parade one more time.
Dates of the parade and festival are September 18th and 19th.
going to be
Loomis
amazing,
Park.
and it's going to be exciting because it's going to be our official first parade in South Florida since pandemic began.
And I will say we have some really great and diverse talent lined up this year for our headliners and everything. So just check the
Anything
website.
you can tell yet?
No, not yet, but we're going to be releasing it
I'm
very
a news
soon.
guy. Anything that you can you tell us?
Off the record.
Off the record. Okay, real good. And a good night from John Buckley.
I want to say a special congratulations to Corinne Mariposa and Miami Seed Share. She was our Unity Leads first recipient for 2021, and we're super excited to be able to give that to unsung heroes here in our South Florida community. Thank you for always welcoming me here, and I'm super happy to be a part of this amazing cast of news host anchors.
And of course, I'm a big supporter and fan of Unity Coalition and their mission. Love John being here, and we're excited in October. Tell us the dates.
We have Celebrate Orgullo. This is our 19th annual Celebrate Orgullo coming up October 1st to the 15th. Stay tuned. You can follow us on unitycoalition.org for all the details.
And I'll be hosting some of those events, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Of course.
And John is very excited because I'm going to have to say 25 times between now and October.
Say it.
Orgullo.
Yeah. Orgullo, yeah. Roll the tongue. Roll the
I can never
tongue.
pronounce it. I can never pronounce it. But
He's
I'm
just not good
looking
with his
forward.
tongue.
I haven't been to it, and I'm looking forward to
Good.
doing it. It's going to be exciting. And a special good night from Gregg Shapiro.
I'm just thankful to have another fun night at this table. It's an honor and a privilege. And everybody just be safe and be well. And thanks for watching.
We love the diversity at the table. Gregg is a writer, 7 books, poetry. We are really, really happy you're here. And continuing in that diversity, Dr. Ty Hauser.
Yay! Thanks for having me back. It was a good time tonight. I don't really have anything to plug, but I'll just like to say continue.
I'm sorry,
to,
what? What are we
You
talking
want to
about?
plug something? A butt plug. Did he say butt plug? Oh, I heard butt plug. I'm sorry.
The president of Broward College apparently is
He's now on the phone. I'm sorry, President Hale. I just want to say continue to love each other even after Pride, and remember that we take care of each other because that's just what we do.
Yeah. Well, and thank all of you. Is what you have watched tonight important to you? You sat right here at the LGBTQ kitchen table as we shaded and read each other at every turn, mostly aimed at me, apparently. I just want to remind you, and I really believe this, Saturday, the Stonewall Pride, the amount of effort and work that went into that Pride, Broward County gave WeMeg and the city about 7 weeks notice that COVID-19 was going to be lifted and that Pride Parade and Festival could happen. You did an outstanding job. The City of Wilton Manors is congratulated. WeMeg is congratulated. All of the participants in the event, even right down to a flash mob, are congratulated because it is a mammoth amount of work. The end result of the parade, of course, is disappointing, but the festival went on, and it was a tragedy, and we're sorry about the injuries and the loss of life, of course, but it could have been a whole lot worse. And so we remind you, we are entering a summer that is going to be magical for the South Florida LGBTQ community in Dade County, in Broward County, and in Palm Beach County. And we have great events and festivals that are going to take place from now until the end of the year. And perhaps Stonewall Pride, in a very strange way, will be a marker that we look back on in the next coming months as the start of really this special and magical time. And that's my hope of what will be the legacy of what occurred at Stonewall Pride. Remember, we're here every Wednesday at 9 p.m. and this is live. You heard it unedited. Don't forget, Queer News Tonight is here daily at 8 p.m. Hotspots Magazine and WeMeg events, including the Stonewall Pride Parade and Street Festival, and their many events are always ongoing throughout the entire year. And remember, if it's important to you, it's happening out. Good night, America and South Florida.